Welcome back. Welcome back to ASTV show, sports show. This last week, July 13th to 17th, it was the inaugural Red River Under 18 High Performance Football Tournament, which took place at IG Field, and what made this tournament so special is that it was a collection of the best under 18 female football players, and I'm pleased to be joined by a couple of ladies who participated in the event, as well as one of the many people who helped put this event on, Lisa Cummings. And we'll start with the couple ladies who started the tournament. Why don't you guys start off by telling us your name, the position you played, and how long you've been playing football for?
I'm Sam. I play quarterback, and I've been playing for 4 years.
Hi, my name's Sarah. I've been playing center or left guard, and I've been playing for third year now.
And what drew you two ladies to the game of football?
Sorry,
What got you two ladies into the game of football?
Actually, my neighbor is Tanis Wilson, and she is one of the commissioners of the league of Manitoba Girls Football Association, and she would always kind of like hassle me like, hey, you gotta play, you gotta play, you gotta play. And then one day I was like, hey, fine, I'll play, and then I like fell in love with it. Yeah.
Originally, my brother started playing football, and I just had been around my football my entire life from such a young age because of my brother. So he was my biggest inspiration into getting into the actual sport. And then we had a girls' team open up right beside my house, so it was perfect.
All right, and so if I got this correctly, the Red River Cup, it was 2 Manitoban teams and 2 teams from a rival province, Saskatchewan. What was the experience like for you two playing in that tournament?
It was really cool because it was the first time this tournament happened for all girls. It was a really like special moment, and it was super competitive, and like it was like kind of opened our eyes to how the league is growing and like the opportunities for like future girls.
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience. It was great to be able to see that we can actually play for our province now. The girls we can present ourselves and show that girls can play football, because there's a lot of people who didn't even believe that there was a girls tackle football league. So it was awesome to show people, especially at the Bombers, that there is a league and girls can join and have fun.
And did you guys play on the same team? Because I know there was a gold and a black team, so you guys didn't play together?
Looks like gold and black.
Gold and black. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I was just going to interject. I was one of them. When Glenn first called me about the Western Canadian Women's Football League, I was like, women's football? There's one here in Canada? And sure enough, there was, so we got to do some of that. So it's really cool to see. So I'm just throwing in. I was one of those ones that was like, wait, we have women's football in Canada? I heard it growing in the States, but here? So I was one of those people who's glad that you guys came and showed me the light.
And there were a couple of different rule changes than the normal football. What were those rules? Because it wasn't 12 on 12, was it?
Yeah. It's actually 6 on 6, and
And do you guys use the whole field?
no, it's 3/4 of the field width, and it's the full length.
Marks. For senior football, it is the same length of the field, though.
And what was your most memorable moment from the tournament?
Mine was the final game. It was a championship game against Team Manitoba Black, actually. My coach, he was like, hey, Sam, like, you need to go on kickoff. Somebody's injured. And I was like, what? Like, I've never been on a special team with this, whatever. And then he's like, hey, go to the left side. You'll see it. Just go get the ball. I was like, go get the ball? I was like, this is kickoff. And then he was like, Sam, you'll see it. Go get the ball. And then I recovered the ball, and I was like, is this what you wanted? He's like, yep, you got the ball. Thank you. And that was it. I was like, okay, good.
It was probably the last few seconds of the game. It was a phenomenal game to play. It was such a tight game, and at the last 4 seconds of the game, our teammate Ashanti picks up the ball and kick return and runs it into the end zone. We were down by 2 points, and that was probably the most memorable, and it was phenomenal, yeah.
All right, and now Lisa, Lisa, I have to ask you, how did the idea of this tournament come about?
Myself and Eric Vincent, we had spoken quite a few times. We throw around ideas of how to grow the game for girls, and we both believe firmly that the girls need a high-performance program. They deserve to have a high-performance program. They're no different than the guys playing. Yeah, they're playing 6-a-side here. That's just because of numbers. They are all capable of playing any level of football that they want to, and some of them have. The girls have played in the boys program as well. So they deserve to have every opportunity in our sport that everybody else is given. And so this was the year we decided to just give it a shot and try. And we've already had a bunch of other provinces in for next year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so, for myself, growing up playing sports, I know it's always good it feels good to win, but it also feels a little better when you beat Saskatchewan. What was it like having two Manitoban teams in the final?
It just showed that like our efforts of like the Manitoba Girls Football League and like how much we've practiced. We've had that league for 9 years, and it just shows that like we've been growing and we've been practicing and like perfecting our skills to beat Saskatchewan. That was our whole goal of all 9 years, so we could beat Saskatchewan. I'm just kidding, but it showed that like we are a threat in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, us being the longest running females football league in Canada, we really had to prove ourselves of being like, they were tough teams. Like, it's not like we walked into it there thinking like we were going to beat them. It was a challenge, and it was just so much fun to see, just being able to play it and to prove our worth as the team.
And who's your guys' favorite football player?
Drew Brees, I love him so much.
Harris, of course, in my heart.
And finally, for those females out there that would be interested in playing for Team Manitoba next year, in this tournament, what was the process that you two had to go through to be able to play for Team Manitoba?
So there's an identification camp. There's like a weekend at the end of June. Yeah, the end of June, it's a weekend for an identification camp. And actually, I missed it. But go to the ID camp. Or you can like make like a highlight film or highlight reel or whatever, and then send it in to like Lisa or Eric Vincent or whoever like is leading the ID camp. And you just have to register, go through the motions, and try your best at the ID camp.
I did do the ID camp. Yeah, it was right after it was the last week of our football, and so we were straight into the ID camp after. It was 2 practices a day, so it was like full 4 hours. It was. But we just paid $20, got to join, and then we had to just show our best to prove to those coaches that we deserve to be on the team.
And we'll be doing it earlier next year, so people should keep posted to our Facebook and all of our social media for more information. It'll be a lot sooner this year for the ID camp.
And what's next for you guys now after this tournament?
Starting in January, I'm going to start training with the Manitoba Fearless senior women's team in the WWCFL. That'll be like workouts and stuff, and then hopefully I'll be playing with them the upcoming season.
I still have another 2 more years playing with the MGFA, so I was going to play boys bantam. However, it's going to be really rough to keep it in my schedule. So yeah, I know, I really want to, but they have put it down to 7-man, so it's going to be like just like 6-man. So, but and I'm going to go to the gym and just start working out until the next girls' season. So.
All right. So we want to thank you all for being on here with us and giving us some information. It's always good to get information. You know, you see these leagues, and you're like, oh, we need to show these leagues off because we want more people, and the more exposure you guys get, then you can, eventually build up to 11, 12 players on the field, and that's what we really hope. And, it's exciting. I was there at the Fearless versus Regina for their playoff. It was a loss, but it's probably one of the best in-person football I've ever watched, and it's just exciting to see. So, and that's obviously you guys, your league, and what Lisa, you guys have started and doing. So it's great to see. So we want to thank you here at, and I guess everyone watching too, I think will thank you. And if they won't thank you, then they need to watch your games, then they will thank you. Because the football is exciting. It is exciting football. So just thank you for coming here, giving it time, and we hope you all the best. Hope to see you next year with the Fearless and with the league as well.